The lawyer for the girl who got 3 years in prison for getting revenge on her ex, and she said it was totally worth it. She rubbed poison ivy all over the inside of all of his clothes before she returned them back to him after the breakup. I saw the pictures in court. This dude's skin was messed up. She didn't even try to fight the charges. She pled guilty, and when the judge asked, "Why did you do this?" she said, "I did it because it was worth it. He deserved it, and I'd do it again." She didn't stop there with the petty. She had an extra car key to his car, so one day while he was at work, she Ubered to his place of business, got into his car, and drove it across state lines so that she could plant some evidence in it, park it next to a fire hydrant, and then hopefully the cops would search this thing before they sent it to the tow yard. That turned into a mess for him because he reported the car stolen. The police found it with the planted substance inside. They thought he was just messing around trying to get out of these charges. He was locked up for 36 hours until he could actually prove his alibi. I asked my client why she went through all the trouble, like what did he do to deserve all this, and she said for 4 years of marriage he would not stop chewing with his mouth open. She said prison was actually going to be better than going home every night and listening to him chomp on his food and talk about crypto and NFTs all night.
Stop! Oh man! You know, I thought he was gonna have done something worse, like he cheated, slept with your best friend, but no, it was the chewing. It was the chewing. But to be frank, as someone who also hates people who chew with their mouth open, this is fair. It's fair. Especially if you get asked to stop chewing with your mouth open and you continue to do it just to piss that person off. That's just disrespectful. You know what this reminds me of? You know, in Chicago? Anybody else like a musical theater fan? He had it coming. He only had himself to blame. If you'd have been there, if you'd have seen it, I bet you would have done the same. Okay, I'm hearing she had misophonia. What is misophonia? Is a disorder in which certain sounds trigger emotional or physiological responses that some might perceive as unreasonable given the circumstance. You would have done the same. Honestly, fair. I think the punishment fits the crime in this scenario. It does. Now, my petty friends, always be aware that whatever you put into the universe, you get back. So be prepared that if you're about to, seek some petty revenge, that something might happen. So be prepared to suffer the consequences. And if you are prepared to go to jail and suffer the consequences of your actions, then by all means do it. And post about it on TikTok so we can laugh at it. I got my entire team fired accidentally, including our manager. I, female 28, got my entire team fired accidentally. It was kind of intentionally unintentional thing that happened, and even I got caught off guard. Let me give you some context. I'm working in a very specialized field under a huge company and had been in the team for over a year when our manager resigned. Then the company decided to add more people on our department, including the manager. This team that were hired were placed under our care to train them on all processes. We have tons of processes that I could barely believe that I managed to master everything. We did our best, but one specific new hire, we'll call her Morgan, kept on disagreeing with everything we teach her. Hence, we eventually stopped talking to her and let her be. If she gets in trouble, her fault, we won't help her out of it. We've escalated this matter to the new manager, let's call her Anna, but she kept brushing it off, saying that Morgan's just too knowledgeable, that she wanted to help us learn based on her 18 years of experience in the field. No, she's basically picking a fight with anyone who disagrees with her, but whatever. We let it go and move on. I thought that was the hardest part of having them on the team. Well, I can't be more mistaken. These new hires, together with Anna, find a way to add extra hours, overtime pay on our system, and we don't get questioned. As what I've mentioned, since we are on the specialized field, our positions are quite important to the entire company. So we're not getting too many questions whenever we have a huge submission of extra hours. I didn't agree with the idea when it was mentioned to me in a meeting. I questioned the funds and told Anna that I want out of it as I don't want to get involved in a shady heist. Apart from it is basically illegal, I don't want to risk my name and principal over a few $1,000. It's just not worth it. We proceeded just to work as usual. Anna spoke with me and mentioned that one of my colleagues, let's name him Rio, told her it was my idea to not follow the group plan. I was surprised to say the least, as I just spoke with Rio and he didn't mention anything to me. This is where she f***ed up. Rio and I have this friendship that is hardly obvious with the rest of the group. We usually just banter with each other on group meetings, so some of them thought we were at odds, which isn't true. That is why we exchanged screenshots and realized that Anna was trying to make us fight each other by telling us lies, basically. Since we already had the idea who spreads lies and I hated drama, I started distancing myself from the team and Rio did the same. We tried to work properly despite all of this happening in the background. Then the performance rating came. We were called into a meeting one by one to discuss our performance, to which will be the basis of our yearly salary increase. And guess what mine was? Apparently, I was failing it. The category which gave me an almost 0 rating? Camaraderie? You guessed it, Rio had the same rating. So, in the fit of my rage, I created a very short email saying to investigate the entire team because there's something illegal happening. Using a throwaway mail that I created and schedule sent it to the upper management. It was a fairly new email that had a bunch of numbers as its name, so it could be considered a spam email. Or so I thought. That wasn't accidental, babe. You did that on purpose. A few months after this incident, I hardly interact with the rest of the team, the same as before. But I still need the job, so I stayed and just want to finish the year and then I would quit. But something huge happened. The company suddenly announced hiring an additional 12 people for our team. We thought they were just expanding, but you're right again. My entire team of more than 10 people got fired all together and only me and Rio were retained. Shock was an understatement. I mean, I'm surprised it took them months to figure this out. We were so confused because it was so sudden. They were called by the HR team and they were fired. We had no idea what happened in between, but me and Rio basically carried the entire team's work and had to push through even though we were blindsided. We had to train the newbies again. After a few days, I got a call from the senior director himself, and apparently they confirmed they received an email that stated to investigate the entire team as something illegal was happening. Sound familiar? Yep. I guess it's mine. I never confirmed it, but I got the feeling it was the one I sent months ago. They checked all our records and only me and Rio were clean. We were offered managerial posts, but we both declined as we didn't want any more drama for the meantime. Needless to say, that was one of the pettiest unintentional revenges I have ever made. You didn't necessarily act out of turn. All you did was simply alert your boss and upper management that there was something fishy going on. And the weird thing is like maybe you wouldn't have done that if they didn't also try to get you fired.